stocks extend last week's record-setting rally. U.S. stocks, looking to build on last week's run to all-time highs, rose Monday as investors were buoyed by an earnings beat from Bank of America and shrugged off a failed coup attempt in Turkey over the weekend. Wall Street is coming off the record-setting week, as the Dow Jones Industrial Average and Standard&Poor's 500 stock index notched fresh records for the first time in more than a year after trading in an up and down sideways pattern. The rally has been driven by signs of an improving U.S. economy, a decent start to the second quarter earnings season for U.S. banks, and a diminution of fears related to Britain's vote last month to exit the European Union. Also boosting sentiment is the hope that central banks around the world will continue to support markets in the wake of the Brexit vote. In a sign of the market's new resiliency and breakout from its 14-month trading range, it kicked off the week in the black, despite political instability in Turkey, last week's terror attack in the south of France, and the latest deadly killing of 3 U.S. police officers, this time in Baton Rouge over the weekend. The Turkish lira also was rebounding versus the dollar after dropping over the weekend on the attempted coup. The Dow was up about 20 points, or 0.1%. The broader S&P 500 was up 0.2%, and the technology-dominated Nasdaq composite gained 0.6%. In a sign that risk-aversion is abating, the yield on the 10-year Treasury note jumped to 1.59% Monday, which is well above its recent low of 1.32% back on July 6. Stocks broke out of their trading range last week. Gina Martin Adams, institutional equity strategist at Wells Fargo Securities, told clients in a note. Generally better than expected bank earnings and economic reports, as well as continued speculation that central banks will support global uncertainty with ample liquidity, helped lead U.S. large-cap stocks to new highs last week. Wall Street's focus this week will be on corporate earnings and U.S. politics, as the Republican National Convention gets underway today in Cleveland. On the earnings front, Bank of America, the nation's second-largest bank by assets, reported a drop in earnings, but still topped Wall Street's estimates on earnings per share and revenue. BofA shares were up 2.9% in morning trading. More than 90 companies in the S&P 500 are set to report earnings this week, according to Thomson Reuters. Currently, analysts are expecting earnings in the April-thru-June period to contract 4.7%, which would mark the fourth quarter in a row with negative profit growth. The hope on Wall Street is that the so-called earnings recession will end in the second quarter, paving the way for a resumption of profit growth beginning in the current quarter, which began July 1 and ends September 30. Earnings need to pick up, many Wall Street pros say, as the S&P 500 is now trading at 17.1 times its expected earnings over the next 4 quarters, which is well above the roughly 15 long-term average, Thomson Reuters data show. Wall Street will also be closely monitoring the 4-day political convention in Cleveland, where the GOP will likely anoint Donald Trump as its presidential nominee Thursday, the final night of the convention. In global markets, Stocks were mixed in Europe, with the broad Stoxx Europe 600 index rising 0.4%, shares in the FTSE 100 in London rising 0.5%, the DAX in Germany gaining 0.2% and the CAC 40 in Paris falling 0.1%. In Asia, stocks in Hong Kong rose 0.7%,